Welcome to another video with Gweilo 60. Today we're going to be talking about the elephant in the room. Yes, the coronavirus in China. I said it. There goes my monetization, because YouTube will catch it right off the bat. Limited monetization, big yellow flag, and so be it. So now I can talk candidly about what I think about what's going on in China. And I have people inside the country that send me stuff every day, actually every hour on the day. Night, daytime, doesn't matter. Okay, you've got over 70,000 infected people around the world, and most of them, 98% of them are in China. It's spreading like wildfire there. You've got over 1,700 dead people. Yes, people that have passed away because of the coronavirus. Okay, well, places like Australia, quarantine period, 14 days. If you're not an Australian citizen, you are not coming to our country. If you've been in China in the last 14 days. If Americans, same thing. See, you got students coming out of China, coming to places like Thailand, before they go to their respective countries, United States, Australia, wherever. Why are they doing this? Because they got to put in a quarantine time period, because these countries are stopping people from coming there, I guess, is what it comes down to. The rest of the world, because they've got these air carriers that won't bring people to their country, because they have rules and regulations that are designed to stop people from China going to their country, they think that they are going to not be affected by this coronavirus. See, I said it again, coronavirus in China. Well, that's not exactly how it works, guys. For one thing, China is the factory of the world. The manufacturing of the world happens in China. Oh yes. And places like the United States, Great Britain, so you notice how I said Great Britain and then the European Union, because Great Britain is no longer part of the European Union. Good on you guys. All right, places around the world that think that they are going to be somehow shielded from the economic catastrophe, and I'm going to call it a catastrophe, that's hitting China right now, and they're saying, oh yeah, well, China's losing this and China's losing that. You guys are about 2 weeks away from it happening to you. Factories are shutting down. Apple, I heard Alex say Apple just put out an investor alert here today or yesterday, stating that they're not going to be hitting their numbers. Things like that. If you can't get it made, and you can't get the parts in, other factories around the world are going to shut down. So what's that got to do with China? Well, because China is taking the, I don't want to get run over, because China's taking the brunt of it right now. You hear about discrimination, people talking down to the Chinese because, oh, they're from China, they could have the virus, this and that and the other thing. It's getting rampant around the world, and the rest of the world blames China for some reason. They see this could have happened anywhere in the world. Oh, it did in 2009 with the swine flu and the H1N1 that killed over 200,000 people. That they figured they rejigged the numbers here actually last week, and I think they just about went up to 400,000 dead. But the idea that because it happened in China, quarantine, yes. Stop the air carriers. There's more people dying of the flu in the United States than there are of the coronavirus, but hey, because we can step on the Chinese economy, yes, we're going to make it so the coronavirus is the number one thing on the tongues of every media outlet in the world. I look at the Canadian news on the internet, and it's not a big news item in Canada. It's not every single one of these news articles are about the coronavirus. Then I flip over to the American version of Yahoo News, and it seems like 75% of all of the news items are how this is affecting China, the coronavirus and how it can spread. Coronavirus is ruining Chinese economy. Coronavirus this, coronavirus that, and it just goes on and on and on. And it's one of those things that I can't understand why these people are like this. Okay, back to, well, how does this affect the Chinese person? Your regular Joe on the street, or whatever you want to call it. Joe is not a common name in China, if you didn't know that already. Gweilo is, well, at least on my channel. Okay, so the idea that in Nanning, what's happening to your regular person? Well, each area of the city is sort of its own little area. Villages have been indoctrinated into the bigger city, or become part of the city. Each of those little areas is sort of cordoned off. If you're from that area, you stay in that area. If you're not from that area, you don't go to that area. Sort of an area quarantine, I guess it is. You go out every couple of days to buy your groceries. It's not a daily basis. You don't go 2 times or 3 times. If you forget something the first time you go out, you don't go back for a couple of days. People are self-quarantining themselves. The government is quarantining vast areas of Hubei province, and those people, food is being brought to them. You see the logistics of it all. How do you, if people can't leave, say Wuhan, 11 million people, where does the food come from? How does the food get to them? You know, all of these logistical things are a big problem in China. If it was in the United States, there would be anarchy in the streets. There'd be a run on the grocery stores. It would be just freaking nuts. But because this is China, this doesn't happen. The Chinese people don't think like that. They trust their government to make sure that there is food there. They do take care of this stuff. Still don't want to get run over. So food is being brought to these people. Water is being brought to these people. All the necessities are being brought to these people. If you do go out, and everybody gets their temperature taken everywhere they go. So if you've got a fever, yes, the authorities will pick you up and take you to one of the designated hospitals to make sure that you don't have the coronavirus. You see all of these things on the news or on YouTube or posted online about people getting taken away by the authorities. Yeah, they get taken away by the authorities, and some of them don't like it, but for the greater good, they have to take them and check them out. If they don't have the coronavirus, fine. If they do, well, they're quarantined and until it gets better, and that's just the way it is. So you've got all of these stories and stuff going around about how bad China is treating their people. No, they're not treating anybody bad. What they're doing is they're making sure this virus doesn't spread any more than it has. And if there's an area, an apartment complex, that they find somebody with the coronavirus in it, yes, that actual apartment complex is quarantined, and they go through and they check everybody. I'm telling you, they check everybody and make sure that they don't have the coronavirus. And after they check everybody, that puppy is quarantined for 14 days. You see, I got a cousin that's under quarantine right now in Nanning City, and I think he's on day 9. 9 days ago, they found somebody in his apartment complex had the coronavirus. Not sure where they were from or if they'd traveled to Wuhan or not, but he's been sort of on lockdown, and he hasn't been able to go to work. He hasn't been able to basically leave their apartment complex area, which is a little hard. You know, he's got 2 daughters. They're both in university. They can't go anywhere. He's an electrician. He can't go anywhere. See, and this is how they sort of stem the tide of this frickin' virus, and it's wrecked so many people's lives right now with just not being able to go out and do things. It's turned the country that I love, China, into a ghost country where there's nobody on the streets, there's nobody out and about. The stores shut down, the KTVs and the cinemas and any public venue is shut down. The whole world is sort of watching what China does, because if this puppy gets out in mass form like it has in China, God help us all, because like, holy moly, there's no country out there that would be able to do the things that China has done to stop this virus from spreading, if it ever got into, say, Los Angeles or New York and started to go widespread, there would be pandemonium in the streets. Not like China, where everybody just listens to the government, self-quarantines. If they have it, they go to the hospital, they get quarantined until everything is done. Yes. So that's my opinion on this damn coronavirus. Yes. Demonetization all over Hell's Half Acre on this video, but that's another video from Gweilo 6. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button, and thanks for watching. Bye now.